And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stern and Tom Crane, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It is May 9th, 2017. It's about 4:33 on the West Coast, 7:33 on the East Coast. Tommy, we have so little to talk about. I always say so much, but it's the dead season, let's be honest. But we still want to crank out a podcast once a week. Luckily, we did have some news cross the wire today. The Bills hired a new GM, as Brandon Beane from the Carolina Panthers is now going to be their general manager, replacing Doug Whaley. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. The NBA playoffs going on. We already have two conference finalists, the Cavs and the Warriors. Are we expecting round number 3 between these two teams? Number 4, Lonzo Ball and his dad, LeVar. Those $500 shoes, Tommy. Did you go out and buy a pair?
No. I do not want to spend $500 on any shoe, because I know that in about a week or two, they're going to be destroyed. And they, personally, to me, are ugly. So, yeah.
Can't wait to get them at Marshall's for $30 in a month, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that. We'll talk about some baseball here. Matt Harvey is the big topic of conversation this week. So Tommy's going to cover Matt Harvey, and then some Champions League. We already have one finalist in Juventus. We'll talk about who they're going to more than likely play in the final, which is going to be on June the 3rd in Cardiff. So we're excited about that. And then final topics. So for once, I actually have a final topic already prepared at the top of the show, which is a very rare thing for me. I don't know why. I luckily had one at the top. It's been a long day. I've just been really tired. Tommy, you probably are feeling the same because it's 7:30 your time and you've been up since about 5 or 6 this morning, probably even earlier. So let's get right into it. But first, of course, Tommy, say hi to the pretty people once again.
Hello, pretty people. Chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom bow, chicka chicka what?
Agreed. So without further ado, let's get into it. Buffalo Bills. Say what you want about the Cleveland Browns. The Buffalo Bills are arguably the most dysfunctional organization in the NFL because they haven't been to the playoffs since 1999. To put that in perspective, I was 8 years old last time they made the playoffs, and I don't really remember too much about that because I was all into soccer back then. Didn't really care for Rob Johnson and the Bills offense. So the Bills have hired Brandon Beane as their new general manager today, ending their search to replace Doug Whaley after he was fired the day after the draft. Yeah, I'm not kidding. The day after the draft, they fired Doug Whaley. So I don't know what that goes to show you. Either Sean McDermott had a lot of say, or if not all the say, with the draft picks for his team, or the Bills were just like, yep, let's have Doug pick all these picks, but let's then fire him the next day. I thought overall the draft went well for the Bills, trading down with the Kansas City Chiefs as the Kansas City gave up their first-round pick and third-round pick next year to get Patrick Mahomes out of Texas Tech, which overall was a good move for them, accumulating picks and then trading back up in the second round to get Zay Jones out of East Carolina, getting some talent in the later rounds with Nathan Peterman, the quarterback from Pittsburgh. So Beane has been in the Carolina organization for quite some time. Since 1998, he joined the Panthers and was named their director of football operations in 2008. In 2015, he was their assistant GM and, of course, now being the GM of the Bills. It's not immediately known, really, whether or not McDermott or Beane will have final say over the roster. McDermott has experience working with Beane, of course, coming from the Carolina organization. So clearly they're becoming aligned to become the Buffalo Panthers, in my opinion. But it seems the Bills, as they've kind of gone on, yes, they've been made fun of, and rightfully so, for the last 18, 19 seasons of not making the playoffs. Again, this season, there's not a lot of expectations. They're expected to win. I think Vegas set the bar at like 6 wins for the season, which for me would be great, considering what they've lost in free agency. So it really comes down to what Brandon Beane and McDermott can put together to make this roster the best it possibly can. Offensively, I think offensively they're going to be really a lot better. Defensively, it's just where they need to be more sound, and they lost a lot of talent on the back end. namely Stephon Gilmore and Zach Brown to free agency. So, Tommy, again, I know you don't really follow the Bills. That's more my team, but what do you make of this hire? And is it good or bad for the Bills?
I think anything is good for the Bills right now, especially from the seasons that they've had in the past and going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Anything is a blessing in disguise, and I feel like this GM move is something that will definitely help, especially coming from the Panthers and making it the Buffalo Panthers. Considering that also Sammy Watkins, I believe the organization did not pick up his 4th year or his 5th year of the rookie contract, that they were going to send him on his way possibly or try and trade him, is interesting. Especially because of how valuable an asset he is. But we'll see what happens when, Tyrod Taylor possibly moves on as well. I see this GM being a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, no, I mean, they didn't pick up Sammy's. I believe it was his 5th year, Tommy, which is, I think it's a good option. One of the problems with Watkins is he's been productive, but when he's healthy. And I think that's the big kick on it, the big knock on him, no pun intended there. But it's just that he just has not been able to stay healthy, and you have to make sure you prove it to get the contract. And with these contracts in the NFL, they're not guaranteed. You can be cut at any point. There's certain amounts that are guaranteed, sure, but again, the verbiage between guaranteed and fully guaranteed, it's just a big cluster when it comes down to those looking at the fine line of these contracts. So this is definitely a huge year for Sammy Watkins, and Zay Jones across being that deadly 1-2 combination. It'll definitely help out Tyrod Taylor, who's a mobile quarterback, and these guys on the outside, when healthy, are going to be a really good 1-2 combination, in my opinion. But I do agree, this is a good hire for the Bills to keep some consistency and familiarity across the board from head coach to GM, because they're going to make decisions together, and you know that. So I think I'm excited for what that's going to look like, and I think this is they're probably a year or two away from really competing for a playoff spot. It would be nice if they would this year, but again, I just don't see it possible right now. Speaking of another team in the AFC, the New England Patriots, again in the news, as Vegas has come out with the lines for each NFL game. Again, the sportsbook CG Technology released the lines, and the Patriots are favored in every single game this season. They, of course, are the overwhelming Super Bowl favorites in Vegas, 3-1 at the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook. So, of course, they're favored by an average of 6.5 points per game next season, with the largest spread being at home at 12.5 points against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, New England's only a 1.5 point favorite in Week 11 against the Raiders in Mexico City, and in Week 15 against the Steelers. On the low end, the Cleveland Browns are not favored in any game this season, and are only a pick'em in one game at home against the Jets. So, so that goes to show you right there how the Browns are looking and how the Patriots are looking. Tommy, are you really betting? Would you ever bet based off of Vegas' numbers that they're going to go undefeated regular season again, like they did back in 2007?
They could, especially with how much they have not lost, and Tom Brady still being Tom Brady in general, and their actual schedule. It looks pretty much amazing for them to win out the regular season. Would I bet on it? No, because you never know what kind of freak accident will happen on the field if Tom Brady, God forbid, gets hit in the ankle or leg again and is out for the rest of the season. But, yeah, Vegas odds, usually they do predict well, so if they say Cleveland's only going to win one game possibly against the Jets, I will give it to them, and I will probably bet on that game. But, I don't think the Patriots will go undefeated. My best guess is 14-2.
So if you're betting, Tommy, between the New England Patriots winning every game next season or the Cleveland Browns losing every game this season, where would you put your money?
Ooh, tough choice. I see Cleveland at least winning 2, and the Patriots losing 2.
So you're putting the Browns. You're more likely the Patriots winning all games than the Browns losing all games. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'd probably put the same there. Because again, I don't think anyone's going to pull off what the Lions did. Again, you never know, but it just seemed there's so much that has to go wrong. Even for the Cleveland Browns organization, they pulled out one win last year, so it's entirely possible that they can do that again. And speaking of the schedule, Tommy, New England plays, interestingly enough, they play the Kansas City Chiefs Week 1. The last time they played the Chiefs in Week 1 was the game that Tom Brady got hurt in Week 1, and Matt Castle had to come in for the rest of the season after Tom Brady was done with that ankle knee injury. So it'll be pretty interesting to see whether or not that free act. I'm not hoping, of course, even as a Bills fan, but it'd be pretty interesting to see for sure what comes out of that, considering that they haven't played each other in Week 1 since that game. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we have some basketball to talk about. Sorry, just a little tired today. We have some basketball to talk about. Two teams are already in the conference finals, the Warriors, the Cavaliers. Are we excited about this, or is this another finals that we're just like, yep, okay, we're expecting this. I mean, who cares? Let's just get them already. And, of course, later on we'll talk about Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, the shoe line that came out, the exorbitant price, the ridiculous price, really, that was the price tag that was placed on them, and how social media destroyed LeVar Ball. So we'll talk about that when we come back. So here is Changing Me, Bobby Green on the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stone and Tom Crane on Spreaker Radio.
Black wires, I plug myself in every